Hey, what's going on, guys? Great Sword here, and today I'm just going to be showcasing a build I kind of just walked straight into, and yeah, it's just really interesting. I kind of just like went along with it as I found items and stuff, and um, yeah, it's just pretty cool. It's pretty much Stormwave Holopalm, but with like some extra twists. So it's nothing too crazy, but it's very cool and does a lot of damage. I also want to preface before I start the video that I'm not an insane Po2 builder or of Exile builder in general. I also don't know all the uniques in the game. I don't know how like special things work. So if anyone has any advice for the build or suggestions, let me know. So here we are. Got my inventory open. Uh, Most of you guys are gonna notice that I have two uniques. These are these Thunderfists are pretty standard. A lot of people like them. A lot of people think they're crazy. Some people are like, oh, they're a little underwhelming. The only reason why I'm even using these for the build is because I'm trying to hit the monsters I'm shooting my Stormwave at with the utmost amount of lightning strikes. And that's what these do. They grant the skill level 19 Crackling Palm, which, by the way, you want the skill level for this particular build to be as high as possible. I believe these cap out at 19. It's the exact same with this, but I'm not sure if this could get lower than 19. You'll have to let me know. I literally found this and I've just been rolling with it. So yeah, I'm gonna just start off by talking about the Thunderfist. Pretty much what you're looking for with these is obviously the level 19 Crackling Palm, but you need high flat damage and also pretty high crit hit chance. The other mods really don't matter too much. Obviously, it's nice to get them as high as possible. If you're loaded right now and you want to get like insanely max dived ones, go for it, bro. It'll only help the build. Uh, Next, we'll talk about Choir of the Storm. Choir of the Storm is super interesting. When I found this, I killed Zesht, and I just had like plus level to melee skills like gloves and amulets. Yeah, so Choir of the Storm is pretty interesting. When I found this, I just was fighting Zesht, and he dropped it, and I was like, well, I've seen the other amulet. Let me see this one, and it seemed really cool. Triggering lightning bolt skill on crit hit. I was like, this is exactly what my build already does. And I also am using elemental expression. So it's like, I just put two and two together. I was like, this might be really cool. So, we're rocking with it. But as you can see, there's not a lot of res on these two items. I got 5 lightning res here, 21 lightning res here. So the rest of your gear is going to have a lot of res on them. It's all cookie cutter stuff. You're playing monk. You want flat damage on your rings along with res. It's also good to get leech. So right now, this mod right here, leech physical attack damage as mana, is huge because it allows us to just never run out of mana because of a node we're taking on our tree, which I'll show you here in a minute. That is very important to have on at least one piece of gear. You can get on your gloves, but the ring, it's like the easiest thing to get it on. Next, you just want movement speed boots with res, life res, like just a bunch of the same thing everywhere. I have int on these. So even though GGG said they made the limit on base stats less, we still have base stat problems here and there. So getting items with int or strength or even dex, even though that's our main stat, it's still very valuable. If I take this ring off, I literally probably can't even use my build. So it is what it is. Helmet, just get as high as possible energy shield as you can because we are taking a special node on the tree. Gives us way more evasion per the energy shield on our helmet. Same thing with the chest piece. You want as high evasion energy shield as you possibly get. If you get lucky, get a third socket, sick. Yeah, so let me just check out the tree for you. And we'll just go from here. So this is like, seems pretty cookie cutter. A lot of people do the exact same thing. Evasion energy shield nodes, crits, hollow palm. These nodes are very good. I undervalued these nodes too much, but now that I'm using them, they're very, very powerful. This node right here is the Mana Leech node, and it is absolutely insane. I sustain just spamming my Stormwave, even though it's like way high level. It's just, you just sustain because of that one mod on my ring. It's nuts. I'm taking this because I have stat problems. Evasion, you know, they nerfed evasion pretty hard, so I have to get evasion literally everywhere, like here, 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 and here, and I still don't have insane evasion yet. So just understand, if you're struggling with getting over 60 evasion and you're not playing Deadeye, it's not your fault. They just nerfed it really hard because they thought deflection was going to be good. So yeah, all right. I just got like a little time loss jewel. Nothing crazy, you know. I just wanted a little bit of extra damage. I could probably get a better one. You know, this build is not min maxed. I just kind of got bored and started making another character, but yeah. So the only thing that really, like, you'll see differently here is I did take these crit hit chance nodes, just because we want our crit hit chance to be as high as possible. We want to crit like all the time, literally as much as possible. And I just want to talk about these nodes before I get to these, because these are the weird ones that if people are going to be watching this video, they're going to be like, what the hell is this? You know? But I feel like these nodes are super undervalued. I don't see people taking these nodes at all. But like 20% crit damage bonus, 10 strength, and 20% increased fizz, along with the more increased fizz like on the way, it's really not bad. I feel like these nodes are super undervalued. Another gem slot, you know, try to get a nice jewel with like energy shield crit. I ended up getting this one for super cheap because people don't use triggered spells or crit hit chance for spells along with like base crit hit chance, you know. And the energy shield, of course, is very nice. Yeah, no, this one's sick because, as you're gonna see, the whole build, pretty much, except for the Thunderfist, all is triggered spells. So it's pretty dope. We're gonna go down to these nodes right here, and we're just gonna like show it's triggered spells deal 14% increased spell damage, right? So these are those two nodes. 40% increased damage if you triggered a skill recently. Don't worry about the meta skill thing. I'm sure we could make something cool with that later on. But dude, 40% increased damage if you trigger a skill recently. You trigger a skill every time you crit. So I was using this before I found Acquire the Storm, because obviously I was using Elemental Expression. And I was really just trying to find a way to make this skill broken, which is very hard, because they did add more nodes here. And this was very nice. The mana cost efficiency before I found out about this node, it was very nice, but it's hard to scale, right? It's really hard to scale Elemental Expression. Last but not least, we also have these nodes down here just for more energy shield and additional stun and ailment threshold per 12% max energy shield. Just really good. There's like 1,000 different ways you could play this build, because at the end of the day, it is just Stormwave, Invoker, Holopalm. I've seen people go CI. I've seen, you know, just full evasion. You know, you can do whatever, right? I'm just showcasing this cool little just the cohesion between Thunderfist, Acquire the Storm, Elemental Expression. It's just really cool. So next we're gonna go into our gems. These are all, I wouldn't say all of these are like optional, but it's a work in progress for me right now. So, you know, take it for what you will. Test it out if you're going to try this build out, and, you know, just test out different gems. You know, I'm just testing these out, and it seems to work well. Obviously, I blast through all tier 15 maps, no problem. Insane mods, no problem. Bosses, no problem. I'm not one-shotting bosses immediately, but I am doing a shit ton of damage. So it is pretty nice. So we're just going to go down the list. We got Elemental Expression right here. Freeze. Mana Flare. This was actually very nice. Shout out to the viewer who told me to run this. The main reason why he did tell me to run this is because apparently you can get Trinity to get all three of the elements up, and you can have like 80-something% increased elemental damage for all of those three elements. I have not personally figured out how to make it work, because I just don't have enough fire, even if I swap to like Herald of Ash. So if someone figures it out, let me know, please. I think it's just probably because I don't have enough flat fire. I got some flat fire here, but, you know, whatever. But yeah, so we have those two. We have efficiency. This is something new I'm trying just to add more damage. I didn't want to do elemental focus because I obviously want to freeze. I also want to test electrocute out on here instead of maybe, I don't know. I might not even need efficiency anymore because of the mana leech. So like I said, work in progress, but the build is super sick. This is just extra damage pretty much. So Escher's Radiance, not very expensive either. Fire Mastery plus level. Crackling Palm. Now here's where things get a little different. We're trying to shock. Lightning Attunement. Obviously, you want more damage. Elemental Armament. And then Culling Strike 2. This is actually super sick because this will help your mapping dramatically. Because if you just Culling Strike everything, it's like, it's gone. I'm not gonna lie to you, I don't know how well this is working because I'm just stormwaving and killing normal mobs anyway very quickly. So we'll see. I might test this out a little bit more. Here we got Lightning Bolt plus level, LA Focus, Ambush just for more crit because the crit for this skill in particular does not go off of our base crit. It has its own crit, and I also have Magnified Area. So I only have Mag Area 1 because I don't want any damage, like any hindrance to my damage. So as we can see, the crit hit chance is 31.8%. That's clearly not my crit hit chance. My crit hit chance actually is right here, 59.09%. Yeah. So that's about that. Tempest Flurry, you literally don't need Tempest Flurry, right? You don't. You don't need this or Bell if you don't want to. You could just make it a Stormwave build. But I use this just to help out with bossing a little bit. It's very nice. I love Tempest Bell. It feels great to use Tempest Flurry. You know, it's just nice. You could put whatever you want on this. I have Lightning Attunement, Elemental Armament, Ancestral Call, which is actually kind of sick, and Crescendo 2. Next, we have Stormwave, the most important skill that we have. Yeah, I've been trying to get it perfected with Corruption for +1 level. It's really hard. Might just try to buy one, but yeah, we only got 4 sockets. But I do have a plus level, so it's very nice. Lightning Attunement, Elemental Armament, Branching Fissures. This shit is sick. It's just nice. It's so nice. I really love it. And LE Focus. We're not trying to do anything special with Stormwave, so LE Focus is nice just for the extra damage. Charge Staff, super sick. So originally I was using a tech where you use a new support to gain power charges, but I kind of went back on that because it was making my mapping worse. Because Charge Staff actually buffs up your damage like a crazy amount. So I'm still rocking, Resonance. Still rocking the Resonance with the Combat Frenzy. It's just so clean when you're mapping, but if you're fighting like a hard boss, you could obviously, I'll show you the swaps I have and we'll go from there later. But for now, we got Charge Staff, we got Blind, Blind 2, Lightning Attunement, Innervate, very big deal. Innervate gives you a lot of damage. That's why you always want your Charge Staff up while mapping. Heft, this could probably be anything. I just put it in just for more damage. And Close Combat 2, also like probably can be anything. This only really helps out when you're bossing, so Tempest Bell, these can all be literally anything probably. Again, like I'm just testing stuff out. We got Rage 3, Heavy Swing, Heft, and Conk Area, just trying to get as much damage as possible. Next we got the Heralds, Herald Device. We're using Cold Attunement, Overreach just to hit more things in the area, Elemental Armament 2, and Cold Mastery. Next is our other lightning bolt that we're hitting enemies with, other than literally everything else. Herald of Thunder, we have Mag Area 2, Deadly Herald, Lightning Mastery, Ambush, and Lightning Attunement. Ambush, I'm kind of iffy on, but it seems to work well. Like I said, the build flies through content. I'm going to show some clips, and you'll see. And Lightning Attunement. Combat Frenzy, just cookie cutter, Charge Refusion, Combat Frenzy. Just makes maps cleaner. Shattering Palm is absolutely fucking insane this league. You can literally use this skill on any character, I feel like. Just quarterstaff swap and just go in and explode everything. But yeah, Shattering Palm is insane. We have Ice Bite, which is another thing that's very good if you freeze them with the initial thing. You just get extra damage. It's great. Mag Area 2, Freeze, Ancestral Call, super nice on this ability, and Cold Attunement. And last but not least, Elemental Conflux. This is a skill that is just understandable. Like, you just gain more damage just for no reason. Like, it's just like you get Spirit so easily, and you could also throw one mastery on it. They stopped the multiple mastery thing. Would be one of the things that I could take out for Trinity and test it out. But like I said, when I tested it, I could not get the fire to go up at all. So, you guys let me know on that. This is great so far. And whenever this turns to lightning, my damage goes crazy. I start chunking bosses as if like I'm hitting 3 times the amount of damage. It's honestly unreal. And look, I just went to lightning. We could go to Stormwave. We're at 83k. No, none of the support buffs or anything. I'm just standing still. And then we go down the fire. Look, 51k. Absolutely insane. So yeah. Now we're all right, guys. So what I'm going to show you right now is my bossing setup. So it's nothing too crazy. As you know, the heralds don't proc when you're fighting bosses. So I pretty much just take both heralds off, and I just deactivate combat frenzy. This is something I've been testing out a little bit. It just gives a little bit of extra damage. I'm sure there might be a better way to go about it, but I'm using Cast on Crit with Lightning Conduit, Ambrosia, Boundless Energy 2, and Energy Retention. It seems okay. It just adds a little bit more damage. I'm sure we could maybe get something better than this. But for right now, I just thought it'd be funny to add another Lightning Bolt to the build when bossing. I'm also doing Hannah Chayula, Sniper's Mark, Culmination 2, and Aletha's Chimes. Aelith's Chimes, that's what it's called. This is how you get power charges during boss fights. Super easy. You just attack a couple times, Chayula, boom, you have power charges. So yeah, that's it. We're going to, I'm just gonna get a map. Get like a big map, big boy map, something crazy. Extra damage is fire, cold, bleeding, stun buildup, frenzy charges. Bunch of crazy shit, right? Good, real crazy shit. And I got some juicy maps around here. Maybe we'll do something like this. Just a nice little juicy map real quick. So I could show you guys like in real time. I didn't really want to get clips. All my VODs are open. So if you want to see this build in real time, you go to my Twitch. I'm live pretty much every day playing Poe. And let all the lag stop. And look, I'm just one-shotting the mobs. And look at all the lightning bolts. I'm not even using my charge staff yet. Haven't used Shattering Palm yet. I'm just showing you guys the base damage of just Stormwave. The build gets so much cleaner when you play it like how it's actually supposed to be played, like this. You just Shattering Palm, Stormwave, Shattering Palm, Stormwave, everything explodes. It's very simple, very straightforward. Now I have some power charges, boom. Do have a problem with stun build-up maps sometimes. A little harsh. But it is what it is, Blue mobs dead. Things just explode, It's so fun seeing all the different lightning bolts too. Like you get the new purple lightning bolt from Thunderfist. You see the normal lightning bolt from your Choir of the Storm. You have Herald of Thunder. It's pretty sweet, guys. So yeah, I'm not gonna finish this whole map. I just wanted to give you a little test, show you guys what's going on. Like I said, real time. You can go to my Twitch, check it out. All right, so yeah, pretty much that's it. That's the build. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Like I said, just stop by the Twitch, YouTube even. I'm live on YouTube a lot as well. But I like to just primarily stream on Twitch because I can listen to music. And yeah, come check me out. Let me know what you think about the build. It's nothing crazy, but it's nice and cool and fun, and it's a little different from what everyone else is doing. So thank you guys for watching, and peace.